Deer season 24 is about to kick off. We are on our way. Opening night in North Dakota, and my excitement level is kind of through the roof. 3 people walked basically in on the spot we're hunting. Not sure what that's all about, but I guess that's hunting, so we'll have to make a new game plan. Second time this week, as Kate and I were in our stand, we saw another hunter coming into the public piece, so just can't get away from it this week, so we're gonna go back at it and keep grinding. We're ready to go kill a deer, so let's go see if we can do that. You know, you work your whole season off that one opportunity. Hopefully the third time's a charm. Deer season 24 is about to kick off. We are on our way. Can't believe at this time tomorrow night we are going to be sitting in a tree stand. Can you believe it? Awesome. I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite trips. North Dakota. Here we come. Well, it looks like we're going to get some pretty good storms here. We're going to be driving right into it. Hopefully they're not too bad. Entered the Cumulonimbus. Well, we just rolled into camp. Season opens at noon tomorrow, so we'll have a little bit of time, but it was a long drive, but it went pretty well, so we're going to hit the hay and we'll get after it tomorrow. Breakfast will be served in a matter of minutes. We've got the kitchen, the living room, dining room. Obviously the bedroom's in the truck, but we're gonna go do a little scouting mission this morning, and then season opens at noon, so try to make a game plan after that. I guess we'll see what happens. We've got about 2 hours before season opens, and Kate and I are getting our boots on the ground, scouting this public piece. There's quite a few tracks in here. Nothing really big sticks out to me, but the other thing you got to keep in mind is there's an old tree stand up in the tree over here, and anytime you're scouting, you got to pay attention to those things, because obviously somebody put a tree stand in here for a reason. So we'll put that in the back of our mind and see if this could be a potential spot. So we're going to finish scouting it and get out of here. It's August 31st, opening night in North Dakota, and my excitement level is kind of through the roof. You know, a lot of times we as hunters set out trail cameras and we know what's around the area once we get in the stand. But this is one of those places we don't do any baiting, we don't do any trail cameras or anything like that, so just the fact that we're in the tree and the anticipation of what deer might be around is pretty cool. So that's one of the reasons why I like coming out here. We've scouted this place and hunted this place for the past 6 or 7 years. It's kind of an all or nothing spot. Either you're going to shoot a deer out of here or you might not see anything. So it's a good vantage point. We can see a long ways through the beans. So it's about 4:40 right now, so it doesn't get dark here till about 9 o'clock. So we're gonna sit in for the evening and hope that we get some action a little later on here. The wind's supposed to die down a little later tonight, so I'm expecting deer should be moving in on their feet. All in all, it wasn't too bad of a night. We had, I think, 5 deer total. 2 of them walked underneath the tree stand here, and then there were 3 of them way off in the distance. Not bad, considering we had 3 people walk basically in on the spot we're hunting. I'm not sure what that's all about, but I guess that's hunting. So we'll have to make a new game plan and see what we can do. Well, I think that's going to wrap up the evening here on night number 2. Don't know what the plan is for tomorrow, but we'll come up with something and see you back here in the morning. Well, it's day number 3. We went to try to find some deer this morning, try to glass some. And again, found a bunch of hunters, so we are moving on and moving to different areas. So we took a little drive and found some new pieces this morning. I feel like we found a pretty good setup. Looked really good. Looked like it might even had a fresh scrape underneath it. And I think it's probably the first apple tree that I've seen actually out in North Dakota since I've been here. So that could be a really good attractant. It's got water around it. It's got bedding. It's got beans. So it looks like it's going to be a really good spot. Actually found some fresh droppings of a deer. It looked like a buck this morning, possibly. So Gabe and I think we got a spot, a tree picked out. It looks like a big clump of cottonwoods that maybe kind of funnels the deer down. It's not an ideal position, but it's probably the only thing we can get. I think tonight's probably going to be the best sit of the week here. So temperature's supposed to cool off a little bit. Got high pressure moving in, and so it should be a pretty good night. So we're going to have to weigh out our odds and see what we can come up with. But we'll make game plan and catch back up with you this evening. All right, it says 45. That's left. Pretty confident that we're on now. You ready to go tonight? Lucky number 4 tonight. That's the arrow number I got. Seems to be the straightest shooting one I usually use, so maybe that means there'll be 4 points in on at least one side of the deer we shoot tonight, so let's hope so. Well, after much deliberation, Caden and I decided to come to the spot that we found this morning. I'm not sure if it's the right choice, but we have a good wind for it, and we talked about it. There's just been a lot of activity in our other spot, so we kind of had to abandon it. We just figured this might be our best move to change scenery a little bit. And this spot looks pretty good. We've got a lot of beans here. We've got a lot of cattail marsh and some basically CRP grass, so we can glass for a long ways, and then worst case scenario, we'll be able to get an eyes on some, maybe a possible buck. So we're gonna sit back and hope it pays off. It was a really good sit tonight. We had several deer come on out, including a spike buck that actually read the script. Kind of basically what we thought they would do is basically come from that apple tree
come around that wheat field and then basically feed into the beans. And I mean, at one point I think he was about 25 yards from us, so if it would have been the right buck, it would have been, you know, game over. But I think overall we saw about 10 to 12 deer, just didn't have the right deer in front of us. So we're gonna go back at it and keep grinding tomorrow afternoon.
Well, here we are, night number 4 in North Dakota. Boy, it's been a grind this last 4 days. This morning we tried to get out and glass a little bit, but the weather's kind of warmed up a little bit. We got a lot of south wind, so a lot of the stuff that we tried to get into, it's just not the right wind for. Plus there's a lot of open bean fields and you just can't get in there without spooking deer. So Ken and I did a lot of glassing. Really didn't see a lot in the areas we've been hunting. So again, we've been out trying to find new pieces, and we stumbled upon a piece today that we speed scouted this afternoon, and it looks pretty promising, to be honest. We've got a big bean field off to our west here, and a lot of the beans along the fence row are all nipped off, and it's actually the most sign that I've seen in a bean field since we've been here. So we also saw some pretty good trails coming out of these 2 fingers or these 2 draws. So I think the deer are kind of using those draws to come out to this bean field and feed in the evening. Found a lot of droppings on those trails, so this is it, man. We've been grinding. It's been tough. Again, a lot of our spots that we've been used to hunting over the years has just been kind of crazy because there's been people all over it, and just it hasn't produced like it has in the past. So we're testing our skills, and we're gonna get settled in for the night and hopefully see some antlers, because between Kate and I, we've seen 2 spikes and a 5-pointer, I think. So it's been really slow. So we're gonna settle in and shoot one tonight. Well, I think that's gonna probably wrap up day 4 and possibly the end of the North Dakota trip. Started off pretty rough again for the second time this week. As Kate and I were in our stand, we saw another hunter coming into the public piece, so just can't get away from it this week. So we did have a little spike come in early on, 6:30 I think. So we were was pretty optimistic about this spot, but turns out that we had a couple deer come up behind us. They caught our wind, started blowing, and we had two deer come out just to the south or north of us again. The biggest buck that we've seen on the trip, a little basket 8-pointer, 7-pointer, something like that. He caught our wind and he started blowing, so that kind of finished off the night. But it was a pretty tough trip, and sometimes it goes that way. But all in all, this area is pretty tough. I mean, I think 93% of the land out here is privately owned, and trying to get permission is pretty tough. And obviously every piece of public has somebody on it, so well, we'll have to get back in Wisconsin, and our season's going to open in a couple weeks, and hopefully we can get a deer down then.
Well, first stop of the trip, get some gas, get a little food in me, get a little caffeine so I can make it the rest of the way. It's Kate and I's second go round in North Dakota. Didn't go so hot for the opener, so we're looking to hopefully tag one during the rut. It should be interesting. Neither one of us have hunted out here during the rut, so kind of interested to see how it'll go. I don't know, it's Caden's wild idea that we should just sleep in the truck here when it's going to be about 23 degrees. So I'm expecting I probably won't get much sleep tonight, but who knows, we'll see. Our plan is to get up early in the morning and try to do a hanging hunt. We have a couple spots picked out, but going in the dark might be quite interesting. I don't know what to expect, what tree to get into, but we'll give it a whirl and see if we can see any deer tomorrow. 5-star luxury hotel right here.
I'm not sure about that.
This is how you do it. This is how you do it cheap. Hey, just if you do this, you might wake up with icicles on the windows or a kinked back, and very kinked back, kinked neck. We're gonna hit her hard for the next couple days. We'll see how she goes. What do you got? Well, let me turn this off. It is 6:30 on October 31st. Kate and I are going in blind this morning. We've got a spot picked out for the wind that we've dealt with, which is a south wind, southwest a little bit, maybe switching to southeast. We may have to make a move midday, but I don't know. We're just gonna try to sneak in real quiet and hopefully try to find the right tree in the dark and see what happens. It's a perfect time of year, great weather conditions. It's cold, it's like 23 degrees, 24 degrees, something like that. And we had a great night's sleep in the truck last night, but we're ready to go kill a deer, so let's go see if we can do that. Well, it's just starting to get light. Kate and I think we picked out a pretty good tree. I think we got in here fairly clean as we were hanging the stands. We did hear a couple deer come off the ridge over here behind us. They didn't blow or didn't spook or anything. They just kind of worked their way, I think, to the north. That's from what we could tell. But it's always tough coming in here in the dark, trying to pick out a tree, but we've got a scrape that's pretty fresh at 12 yards. And then just down from us, we've got another one at about 20. So just coming in blind, thinking this was a good spot. As the sun comes up, we're realizing it's pretty nice. We got a couple rubs that are fairly close too. So as far as the weather, it's a perfect morning. If you could pick an October 31st Halloween day, this is probably the day you'd pick. It's like 25 degrees. High pressure, clear skies, and there's not an ounce of wind, which is tough. I guess that's the only downfall of this morning, but hopefully the deer cooperate and kind of use this funnel and we'll get a deer coming our way.
That's why we drove here last night, for that one opportunity. And that buck came right into 9 yards. You know, you work your whole season off that one opportunity, and then something like that happens. It's unfortunate, but you know, I've replayed it back and forth in my mind several times, and I just don't know what else I could have done. I could have tried to force a shot, but then it's not a great angle. And then you try to track a deer forever or don't put a good hit on it. Great opportunity. But we're gonna sit back. Hopefully something else comes through, and maybe we'll change our setup for the morning.
All right, finally made it back to camp. That was a pretty interesting day. Pulled an all-day sit in the stand. This morning we had a really nice buck come in. Basically got the 10 yards, but he kind of gave us the slip. Pretty excited to at least see that buck. But we did see another 8-pointer come in, probably a 2-year-old. So we decided to leave our stuff in the stand and go back in there in the morning. Supper tonight is going to be fettuccine alfredo with chicken. We've got the back of the truck here is our kitchen. Front of the truck is our bedroom, so it's quite an adventure out here. Ooh. Seal her up for 8 minutes, boys.
Ooh, it smells good.
That smells good. Okay, 8 o'clock.
Well, we got her on the plates. It was a little bit soupy, but not bad. It's got bacon chunks, 40 grams of protein. We need it. Yeah.
Can you see him? Did he go out? Well, that was another good encounter that we had. And of course, didn't get a shot at that one either. Whatever, I guess that's the way it is. It's been a pretty good morning. So I think Kate and I are just gonna make a switch at about midday. We're gonna go up the ridge a little bit. I think our wind swirls a little bit too much down here. And every deer's come off that ridge top, so I think we're gonna hang a set, but that's 2 shooter bucks in the area in the last 2 days, so hopefully the third time's a charm. Just killed him, bud. He's not down yet. Did he go down? I'm shaking like a leaf. Back already. I didn't hit him very good. You hit him? I hit him back. I think he's down. You hit him right in the liver. I hit him back, but I think he was quartering away pretty hard, and I ranged him at like 23 yards, and I just... Dude, after all this crap this weekend, I just kind of rushed it maybe a little, and I hit him farther left than I wanted to. But I'm sorry we didn't get that on video. Sitting on the ground. Caden went down to the ground. We were just gonna make a switch out of this tree and go set up on the ridge where we'd have all these deer coming down. And this guy's 20 yards from us, and Caden's on the ground. I have no idea how that just happened. I'm like, Dad, big buck. I see him walking down the ridge. I'm like, this is terrible. And he didn't see me because I have no idea. He was looking right at me. I figured you were dead to the water and we were gonna blow him. He was looking right at me. I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. Yeah. I had the GoPro rolling though. Yeah, you could have. I turned it on. Okay. I pointed it in the direction. So I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah. We might be tagged up. I mean, we are an hour away from wrapping a tag around a giant buck in North Dakota, baby.
Back of the truck here. We're just getting a Little sandwich,
little fuel.
little fuel. So hopefully we can drag this massive buck out of here.
We're just hoping that we can go recover this bad boy. There's some hair right here. Yep.
Is that him?
Yep. Are you sure?
I think it is.
Yeah, that's him. I think that's him. Let's go get him. Couldn't see him. He's up against a tree. Ah, can you believe it, bud?
Dude, that's a giant.
That's a tank.
That's a giant. Look at the mass. Thing's a mega.
He's pretty.
The thing's a mega. A mega.
You know, hunting is ridiculous. I mean, Kate and I, first morning sit, would have shot a dandy 8-pointer, but it just wasn't to be. And then this morning, another dandy, maybe 9-pointer, whatever it was, came in. I was drawn back on him. It just wasn't meant to be. It was not God's timing. And then Caden gets out of the tree stand because we were going to move, and this thing walks in 20 yards. I don't know what to say.
A mega. A mega.
I don't know what to say. Oh, unreal. Caden basically told me, hey, you're not going to eat that tag. We're going to come back out in, end of October, early November before the gun season started, and, let's try to hunt out there. And, it's a lot different country between early season and late season. And we studied the map a lot, and we thought, well, this area looks pretty good right here. The boys had come out and shed hunted it for several years, so they knew that it was a pretty good rut spot with all the sign they had seen in early April. Again, I'm blessed to be behind this thing, and my season in North Dakota is over. So couldn't be more proud of the buck, and a little disappointed that we didn't get it on video, but I think Caden might have captured it just enough on the GoPro, so that's pretty cool. But until next time, scout them, hunt them, tag them.